News at 10. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. We'll start off in Cape Town as Presidents Bola Tinubu and Cyril Ramaphosa met at the 11th session of the Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission. President Ramaphosa says tourists from Nigeria can now apply for a visa without necessarily submitting a passport. He mentioned that South Africa has simplified its visa processes to facilitate travel for Nigerian investors and tourists, one of which is a 5-year multiple entry visa. South Africa is also working to support Nigeria's quest to join the G20. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde has details.
This kind of meeting between Nigeria and South African leaders usually has far-reaching implications. The two countries are among Africa's biggest economic powerhouses. The two leaders share a personal and mutually special relationship. President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa will fully support Nigeria's bid to join the G20 and improve trade ties between the two countries.
The African Continental Free Trade Area will allow our two countries to trade in a more seamless manner across a variety of products. And this is the time for us to seize the opportunity to begin robust trading between Nigeria and South Africa.
The visiting Nigerian president reminisced on the bilateral relationship that exists between both countries. President Bola Tinubu, however, acknowledged that there are some rough edges that should be smoothened up. Historically, the relationship between Nigeria and South Africa has often been categorized under three major pillars: conflict, cooperation, and competition. The relationship, however, has been strained by long-standing tensions, particularly as relating to both countries' aspirations to play a more decisive leadership role on the continent.
We must ensure that the spirit of the collaboration and cooperation between our two leading countries in Africa will intensify and deepen under our leadership of our respective nations. This is not a matter of choice, but of destiny that includes an historical responsibility that we hold the African people.
Here, President Bola Tinubu seeks to start a new phase for Africa's largest economies, as both presidents discussed the benefits of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement and the role of international finance institutions on the continent, also cooperation in the mining and telecoms sector. Nigeria needs South Africa's cooperation to secure full membership in the G20 and BRICS, along with participation in the BRICS New Development Bank. Femi Akonde, TVC News.
Sunday Dare is special advisor to President Tinubu on media and public communications. He joins me live from Cape Town on TVC News at 10. Mr. Dare, thank you for joining us on the news tonight. Some really big news coming from the Binational Commission about simplifying visa processes for Nigerian tourists and investors, given what has previously been a challenge for both countries. Talk to us about how this administration intends to leverage on this and exactly how Nigeria intends to reciprocate.
Absolutely. There you have it, Nifemi. Today in Cape Town, South Africa, the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, in his opening remarks, did speak to the 5-year multiple visa entry and also applying for visas without passport. In this case, electronic passport will suffice for tourists. And I think that was a big one. If you look at the fracture and the tension around Nigerians and South Africans when it comes to the issue of the visa policy and also the time of stay in this country. But I think that beyond that, there are quite a number of other key things that came out. We saw a new energy injected into the Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission, established 25 years ago. This is the 11th one that is taking place. And we could see clearly from both President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria and also President Cyril Ramaphosa in their opening remarks. They were very, very forward, very blunt and clear. Our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was clear about the fact that we have over 34 or 35 MOUs, and we're lagging behind when it comes to implementation. He had a very strong voice saying, it is time for us to dust off these MOUs and start to implement them for the sake of both of our countries. It was a strong voice for Nigerian youth. The Nigerian-South African Youth Dialogue, which started in 2021, he says we need to pick it up because the future of our youth starts now, and we need to leverage on that demographic.
Indeed.
And a few other things. So it was, the visa thing was quite, a very positive news, but also quite a number of
We lost your audio for a bit. Indeed, you're back. We are counting on the implementation of these promises, and Nigerians will see how that works in the coming days. But there are also conversations, Mr. Dare, about ease of doing business as well as investment opportunities. What specific sectors and industries have been identified for potential investment in this regard? And practically, what do both presidents intend to do to address the challenges faced by companies operating in both countries and remove the need to remove constraints that we have recorded in recent times?
Thank you. I think the communique was very detailed, and I think it boils down to the question of implementation. There were promises made to remove restrictions where there are restrictions. Both countries recognize that we need to broaden investment and trade. In fact, an investment and trade council was set up to start work immediately to work around the ease of doing business. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was really big on speaking to the ease of doing business within Nigeria, the laws we have in place, the executive orders, and I think that the South African president also took a note of that. We also saw that in the areas of aviation, telecommunications, the area of green hydrogen, and quite a number of areas, about 9 or 10 areas, were key areas that were picked up and that formed the meeting that took place thereafter, after the plenary session.
The G20 Leaders Summit is holding for the first time in Africa next year. What form of potential collaboration are we expecting to see, especially with regard to support for countries of the Global South and the 2063 AU agenda?
I think that the news about South Africa being the next host of G20 really excited both leaders and also the ministers that were there. And you're right. The agenda this time is focusing on the problem of the Global South, but also Africa development. And that is key. We saw President Cyril Ramaphosa really emphasizing that and says this opportunity, Nigeria will join with South Africa to make sure that they accelerate critical sectors of Africa development. And I think that it's a great opportunity. South Africa promised that they would like to see Nigeria joining in the G20 and that they will commit to that and make sure that happens very soon. And I think that beyond the G20, the question of the African Union Council, where Nigeria is a member of the Security Council, will come up for re-election. South Africa promised to support us. And I think Nigeria will support South Africa when it comes to the AFDP position. Now, if going by what we saw today, very frank talk, they doubled down on key areas that needed to be addressed. They harped on implementation. I think that we're going to see a bi-national commission that will be different from what we've seen in the past 5-10 years, because the two leaders are committed and they are in a hurry for their countries.
Very exciting days, all eyes on implementation. Sunday Diary Special Advisor to President Tinubu, he joins us live from Cape Town. Thank you so much for your thoughts.
Thank you for having me.
Back here in Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu has directed the Ministry of Justice to work with